Hi you guys, it is Rising High Priestess coming at you today with a tarot reading with the message that your spirit or your soul needs to hear. These are messages that will be coming from your ancestors or your spirit guides, or just spirit that feels like, hey, you're not getting the point, so let me drive this message to you as bluntly and as blank as possible, without you trying to filter it any kind of way or dilute the message. So there will be 3 cards that will be drawn today, and I hope that they resonate with you. I hope that your spirit is in a space that can receive the message that comes through these cards. All right, so before we begin, I want you to take a deep breath in and release that. I want you to move your neck around and release the tension, release the defensiveness. Allow that wall to drop a little bit. Everyone's not going to hurt you, and I'm definitely one of those people that's not going to hurt you. Take another deep breath and wiggle your hands, wiggle your arms, get that motion moving, okay? Get that energy moving through and out your body. All right, so let's get started. I am working with a circular tarot deck that is a little bit different for me to shuffle, so I do a mixture in my hands to get the cards how I want them. The first card is up, and by the way, there will be 3 cards. So there's card 1, card 2, and card 3. Whichever card resonates with you, I want you to drop me a comment below and let me know what that message was for you and how it affects you today. All right, so for those who picked card 1, the card that came up for you today is the 3 of Swords. There we go. The 3 of Swords is all about upheaval, massive change, realizing that the old way of doing things just isn't working for you anymore. And this is more focused to your personal relationships, your relationships romantically and platonically, your relationships within the family and on the outside, the external family as well. It's about examining those relationships and saying, you know what hurts me about these relationships? Are they growing? Or are they stagnant? Are they one-sided? Do these relationships lack reciprocation? If so, am I willing to address it? And if it's not fixed, am I willing to release it? Am I willing to walk away from something that doesn't feel good or something that hurts me? A lot of times this card comes up when I'm dealing with someone who has severe attachment issues with someone emotionally. This doesn't even have to be romantically. It can be a friendship that you're nurturing, that you're the one who puts in all the emotional labor and the emotional equity and sweat, and the other person kind of just skates through because they know you're going to handle it, you're going to do it, it's nothing they need to do. This also resonates with people who are in relationships that feel like they're constantly the one pouring. They're constantly the one who's giving. And the other person kind of sits back and says, well, I'm here. Isn't that enough? It's not. And this card is all about standing in your truth and looking at your relationships and examining them and saying, what doesn't work for me anymore in this relationship? And why do I feel the need to grip to it and feel like if I don't hold on to it forever, it's going to leave? It's all about release. Release is a gift. Release is saying, I know that there's more out there for me and I don't need to hold on to this. Whenever we clench to things, we are living in a space of famine. We're coming from a space of lack. We feel like there will be nothing out there that could possibly replace what we're losing or giving up or walking away from, right? But when you release it, you're saying, hey, you know what? This isn't for me and I'm not going to settle. But I'm going to make room for what is for me and what I am trying to manifest. It cannot come to me if something is taking its space up. So the first card is the 3 of Swords. What do you need to release in your personal relationships? What relationships lack reciprocation and lack respect and lack mutual effort and energy? Where do you need to give yourself an honest assessment in your life emotionally to see what needs clearing out, what has run its course? And that's for card 1. Card 1, group 1. The next card that came up is the Temperance card. Let me pull it up for you. There we go. Give and take. That is the theme. The Temperance card is about even flow. Once again, I will hop to the previous card, the 3 of Swords. But I mentioned the word reciprocation with that card. Reciprocation is just simply give and take. I go this much, you meet me here and go that far. The Temperance card is about learning your balance in relationships and in some of the things that we involve ourselves into, including situations or jobs or even friendships. Learning how much we're willing to compromise, how much we're willing to go before we feel like, you know what, we're pouring from our own supply at this point. This relationship lacks balance. This job lacks balance. I have no boundaries in this relationship, or this job lacks boundaries when it comes to me. And so the Temperance card for card 2 or group 2, whichever one you want to associate with, where in your life are you out of balance? Where are you pouring too much of yourself into, or who are you giving too much of yourself to, and why? It's one thing to be a giving person. It's one thing to be a generous person. But this card is saying we can only give from our overflow. When we give from our supply, we feel sometimes as if we're overcompensating. We have to overcompensate in this relationship. And this card wants you to kind of bring that to the forefront and say, why do I do that? Why am I overcompensator, especially emotionally? It's one thing to overcompensate with, you know, small frivolous things, but when we start giving too much of ourselves emotionally, there's another reason there beyond our desire to do so. And this card wants you to examine that. It wants you to understand your boundaries and why they exist and why they need to exist. It needs to have a conversation with you about, hey, how far can we go? How far can we push ourselves for other people? How much can we compromise ourselves for other people? How much can we push our own selves to the back burner for the comfort of someone else? Balance is the key to any relationship. It's the only way that it can sustain. You can give and you can pour, and you can give and you can pour. And the only thing that comes from that is resentment. Balance is the way that you keep your relationship in harmony. And jobs as well. All right, so let's get to the last card, card 3. For those who pick card 3, it is the 8 of Swords. I should have worn my glasses tonight. Don't judge me, y'all. This is your 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is all about overcoming fears. Overcoming your need to self-sabotage and self-entrap and put yourself in a compromising situation, saying, you know what, I'm not going to run, I'm not going to create a crisis, I'm going to run head forth into whatever this situation is, and I'm willing to face it, and I'm willing to stand on my own too and be solid and face it with my pride and with my dignity intact, and realizing that, you know what, it may go bad, but I'll survive it. If anything, I'm going to learn something in the process of it going bad. And it's not allowing yourself to psych yourself out of that. This is the moment in which you are being challenged to be brave. This is a moment in which you are being challenged to be courageous and step into your strength. Step into your spine. Okay? Step into your God energy and your goddess energy. All right? Not shying away from the opportunity to stand up and be seen for all you are. This is what your card is for those who pick the 8 of Swords. Now, I will say the 8 of Swords always connects to personal relationships to me. You know, someone who may have a fear of commitment, someone who may have a fear of being alone. And a way of self-sabotaging yourself sometimes can be knowing that a relationship is not good, but your fear of being alone keeps you in this relationship too long. It keeps you in a situation that is not good for you, or a relationship that it just doesn't feel right. And overcoming that fear, saying, yeah, I'm gonna be alone, but I'm gonna be happier. I'm gonna have more balance in my life. I might be alone, but I'm not pouring from an empty cup anymore. I might be alone, but I'm no longer pouring energy into relationships and situations that don't go anywhere, or that lack reciprocation or mutual respect or mutual effort. So all of the cards tonight, in many ways, work together, but individually they're still just as solid and just as strong and just as good for self-improvement and spiritual maintenance. I hope that these cards resonated with you. Thank you for being patient as I got my channel together. I am adjusting to this whole YouTube world, so I look forward to growing and glowing up with you guys, all right? If these cards resonate with you, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, make sure you're subscribed to the